All right, ladies and gentlemen. So today we're going to focus on the ICANN standard, or the objective is investigate and use the formulas for area and perimeter of rectangles. So, with that being said, it says determine the perimeter and the area of the rectangles. So the perimeter is if I start here and go all the way here, all the way here, all the way here, and all the way here. So that is my perimeter when I go all the way around. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 on that side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and there's 9 on this side. Keep in mind, I'm counting the squares. I'm not counting the lines. So when you're looking for the perimeter, you have to add up all of the sides around it. So perimeter equals length plus width plus length plus width. So on this rectangle right here, perimeter is going to equal 7 plus 9 plus 7 plus 9, which will give you, if you add these two together, you're going to get 16 because I subtract 1 from my 7 and move it to my 9 to make a 10. So then that's 10 plus 6. And I know these two are the same. So same thing goes here. If I bust these two up and go 10 plus 10, that's a 20. And then 6 plus 6, which is 12. So 12 plus 20 is 32. So my answer for perimeter would be 32 on the first, or on A. So for block A, area equals length times width. So my length would be 7, so area equals 7 times 9. So my area is going to equal, well, I know 10 times 7 is 70, so if I take 70 and subtract 9, then I'm going to get to, hold on, wait, 70 and then take away 7, it's going to be 63. So the way that I did that is I knew that 7 times 10 is 70, but I only have 9 sevens. So if I subtract a 7, that's going to give me a 63. So 9 times 7, or 7 times 9, either one, is 63. That's a strategy that you can use as well, guys. So I know that my area equals 63. Now looking at this one, I don't have any lines on the inside because the 63 is how many total boxes that it covered. But I could extend those boxes if I wanted to, but I really don't want to make a mess of that. I can still go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that side's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That side's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That side's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that side's 6. So remember, perimeter means you start here and you go all the way around. So perimeter equals length plus width plus length plus width. So that means for my perimeter, I would have 9 plus 6 plus 9 plus 6. And if I add those two together, I get 15. If I add these two together, I get 15 because I made a 10 and then what I had left over. And then I know 15 plus 15 is 30. So my perimeter for this is 30. My area equals length times width. So my area equals 9 times 6. Well, I knew 9 times 7 is 63. So if I took a 9 away from that, it would give me my answer. Or I could take 10 times 6, and I know that's 60, but I only have 9 of them, so I could subtract 6 from that and get 54. So there's a strategy for you to use if you don't have your multiplication yet. It's number sense. So remember, I can is to investigate and use formulas for areas and perimeters of the rectangle. So going on down here, let's look at these. Determine the perimeter and the area of each rectangle. Well, I have the length and I have the width. So if this side's 6, this side has to be 6. If this side's 5, this side has to be 5. So my perimeter is all the way around. Well, I know that perimeter equals length plus length times width. And I've got 2 right here. I can make it 10. And then I've got 12. So 10 plus 12 is 22. My area equals length times width. So my area has to equal 6 times 5, which my area is 30. So it's going to be 30 for that. Now, if this side's 8, this side's 8. If this side's 3, this side's 3. So that means I have to add these all together to get my perimeter. Well, let's think about this for a second. Is there really an easy way to do it? Not really. I can go 8 plus 8 is 16, and then 16 plus 3 is 19. And then I could add my 3 more, which would be 22 for my perimeter. Or I could go 6. There's really not an easy way to do it. I could say, okay, I'm going to take 2 away from this one and make it a 10, and 2 away from this one and make it a 10, and then there's 1s left on the ends and 10s there to get to my addition quicker. That might be a strategy you want to use. But your area is equal to length times width. So I have area equals 3 times 8. So I know that 8 times 3 is 24. So my area is 24. It's a good time to start practicing, guys, on those multiplication tables, because we are going to be doing a lot of multiplication. Looking at the next problem. Determine the perimeter of each rectangle. So remember, perimeter means if I had a little stick guy and he goes, he just covered that side, he covers this side, he covers this side, and he covers this side. He goes all the way around the outside of your shape. So if this side's 99, this side's 99. If this side's 166, this side has to be 166. So I have to add all of those up together. So perimeter equals length plus width plus length plus width all the way around. So perimeter equals 166 plus 99 plus 166 plus 99. All right, so first thing that pops into my head is, look how close that is to 100. So I'm going to go ahead and decompose this one and make it 165 and put a 1 here, because I'm going to make 100 right there. So there's 100, and I've got rid of those 2 numbers. I'm going to decompose 165 and 1 and make 100 there, so there's a 100. So now I know I have 2 100s and 2 165s. So I can add these 2 together easily and get 265, 265. And then when I add these 2 together, I know it's going to be 4, let's see. If I add my hundreds together, I'm going to get 400. If I add my 10s together, I'm going to get 120. And if I add my 1s together, I'm going to get 10. Alright, so then if I add all those together, I will get 530. Because there's my 100, so that'll give me a 500. I have no 10s there, but I have 10s here and I have 10s there. So that gives me 30, so 530. So my perimeter is 530. Let's see if that makes my sense. This is close to 100, that's close to 100. So there's 200, 300, 400, and then I've got more than 50 on both, so there's another 500. So my math answer makes reasonable sense. Moving on over here. This one's a little bit different because we're using measurements, but it's still the same principle. We still have perimeter equals length plus width plus length plus width. And guys, we're just doing rectangles right now, but we will be doing different shapes where you will be doing perimeter around them. So now, one thing that we need to know is in centimeters. 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. So if I have 100 centimeters, I need to convert it over to a meter. So that lets me know right there that I have 100 centimeters in that because it's equivalent. It's the same. This side is 1 meter, 50 centimeters. and this is 75 centimeters. So if I do my perimeter, I have 1 meter 50 centimeters plus 75 centimeters plus 1 meter 50 centimeters. I'm going to run out of room. Plus 75 centimeters. All right. So when I am adding these together, I'm going to go, okay, I'm going to get rid of my 1 meter. So I've got 2 meters. And if I use these right here as 50 centimeters, that means that's going to be another meter, because it's going to equal 100 centimeters, which is 1 meter. Then I can add my 2, and I know that's going to be 150 centimeters. Well, there's a 100 in that, so I can break that up to 1 meter and 50 centimeters. So when I go back and calculate all of these, I've got 1 meter, 2 meters, 1 meter, 1 meter that I need to add together. So my perimeter is going to be 2, 3, 4, and I still have that 50 centimeters left there. So I need to put just like that. So I'll come up here and put 4 meters, 50 centimeters. Really, if you need me to slow down, you pause it, you go back, you try to work these out yourself, guys. So right now I need you to pause, and I want you to try to work out for this one. I really hope you paused it. All right, so let's go over how we're going to do this. We have the inside. We know this is 80 square meters. Well, what I know is I know area equals length times width. Well, I have my area, which is 80, and I have my length, which is 8. I just need to know what my W is, because I do not have it. Well, we can do division, or we can say what times 8 is going to give us 80. Well, by doing that, I know that if I put a 10 in there, then it's going to give me 10 times 8 is 80. So my X right here would be 10. I guess I need to put centimeters there. All right, so try to work this one out, guys, and pause it. Hopefully you paused it, and now you're unpausing it for my second to go on. So I know that area equals length times width. Well, I have my square meters, so I have my area, I have my 49, and I have one of my sides, which is 7. I need to know what my W is, what this X right here is. And we can put X in for that. That's just the same as a question mark, guys. So what times 7 gives me 49? Well, I know that 7 times 7 is 49 because I know my multiplication facts. Let's pretend though I didn't know my multiplication facts. How in the world could I solve that? Well, you could take 49 and subtract 7. That gives you 42. And you can subtract 7 again, and that's going to give you 35. And you can subtract 7 again, and that's going to give you 28. And you can subtract 7 again, which is going to give you 21. And subtract 7 again, that's going to give you 14. And subtract 7 again, which is going to give you 7. And subtract 7 again, which will give you 0. Now count how many you've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I know I've subtracted 7 times. So that means 7 times 7, because repeated addition is multiplication. Well, repeated subtraction is division, guys. So I just divided 49 by 7 and got 7. So that's another strategy that you can use if you aren't really strong with your multiplication facts. But with you being at home, it's a great time to practice. All right, looking at the next one. Given the rectangle perimeter, find the unknown side length. All right, so we know this is the perimeter. I'm going to give you a second to try to work this one out, to figure it out for yourself. Go ahead and pause. Hopefully you paused the video and tried to work it out for yourself. And I know that perimeter equals length plus width plus length plus width. All right, I'm just going to let you all know, you can make it length plus width plus width. Because when you're adding, it doesn't matter which way you put it, it's still addition. The only reason that we do it that way is because it shows that we're switching and we're going around that way. So I know my perimeter. Let's say I have my 20 here. So I know 20 plus W plus 20, because if this side's 20, I know this side's going to be 20, plus W. Well, I know that my perimeter is 120 as well. So it's 120 equals, I'm going to go ahead and put those two together. So 40 plus W plus W. Well, I know that I have used, because we've talked about our tape diagram, right? So if my whole part right here is 120, and I used 40 out of that 120, what I have left is going to be 80, because 80 plus 40 is 120. So 80 is my missing number, but I have 2 W's. So 80 has to be after they have been added. So I have to split that in half, which would be 40 and 40. So each W would be 40. And then this side would be 40, because 40 plus 40 is 80, plus 20 more is 100, plus 20 more is 120. So X is going to be 40 centimeters. I will say, in years past, guys, that's the one that people really struggled on. So if you didn't get it the first time and you watched me go through it, you may want to pause it and try to work it out again for yourself. So we have a different one here. It's the same thing. We're given the perimeter and we have one side. So we know perimeter. Pause it and try it if you want to, guys. This is the only way that you're going to figure out if you're getting it right before you do the questions. Perimeter equals length plus width plus width. Yep, I just did it. Told you exactly what I was going to do over here. So it's still the same thing. I just went, okay, this is 250 and this is 250. So I'm going to add those two together first. And this is X and this is X. So I've got W and W because they're width and width. So I know my perimeter is 1,000 equals, I'm going to use these two as my length. It's usually my width, but it doesn't really matter because you still know what you're doing. You can do it that way if you want to. So just for structure, I'll go ahead and leave it like that. And so this side would be 250 and this side would be 250. So if I combined, I'm still going to have 1,000 equals L plus, and that's 500. So back to my tape diagram, if my whole thing is 1,000 from here to here, then this, I've used 500 of it. That means I have blank left. Well, I know that means I had half of it left. So the rest of the half would be 500. But I have to divide it for 2 L's. So, and yes, you're right. It's 250 and 250. So it is still going to be 250 meters. All right. Now, remember, we're still investigating and using the formulas for area and perimeter of the rectangles. We're figuring this stuff out. So each of the following rectangles has a whole number side length. So it's a whole number, it's not a decimal. Given the area and the perimeter, find the length and the width. Oh boy, so this one's gonna be fun. If you wanna try it yourself, go ahead and pause it. So I know my whole area is 24 and my perimeter is 20. Well, I'm going to go ahead and think, what are my factors of 24? What are my factors of 24? Well, I know that I can go 1 times 24 equals 24. And these are factors. And 2 times 12 is 24. Because, see, I have to get the multiplication because area equals length times width. let's see, 3 times 8 equals 24. 4 times 6 equals 24. No 5s, and then I'm back to my 6s. So these are all my factors that I can use. And so this will give me the area of 24. So if I put 1 and 1 and 24 and 24, would that give me the perimeter that I need of 20? Absolutely not, because 24 is already higher than our perimeter. And remember, our perimeter is where we start and we have to walk all the way around. So if I put 2 and 2 and 12 and 12, well, 12 and 12 is 24, and that's already over our perimeter. How about 8 and 3? So if I put 8 and 3, that's going to give me 11. So 11 plus 11 would be 22, and that's over again. So then I've got 6 and 4. So if I put 6 here and 4 here, that means this side's 4 and this side's 6. 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 plus 10 is, oh, looky there. We got it. It worked. So our answer would be length is 6 and width is 4. Moving on over here. I sure hope you're pausing these, because if you get down to the problems and you've not tried to work them out, you're really not going to get a good grade, guys. So I'm given the perimeter, which is 28. And I'm giving the area, which is 24. So I'm going to go ahead and use exactly what I got over here, because I've already did the factoring for 24. And I need for my perimeter to be 28. Well, let's think about this. If I start at the top and I say this one's 24 and this one's 24, well, 2 24s is a lot more than 28, so that doesn't make sense. So if I do 12 on this side and 12 on this side, that would give me 24, and I've got 28, so it's possible. And I've got 2 and 2. So let's just try this. So if I put 12 here and 12 here, so right there's 24, and my other factor for 24 would be 2 and 2. So 12, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Yay! We got that one correct. So I hope you were able to work with this and figure out and investigate and use formulas for the area of the perimeter and the perimeter of rectangles. Just remember, guys, your area equals length times width. Your perimeter equals length plus width plus length plus width. All the way around. You're walking around the outside of your fence. Just imagine it's a fence.